hope that people enjoy it in its entirety and listen to it all the way through and get the messages and everything that we put time and effort into preparing for this record, and just have fun. There's a lot of bangers on it. We're very, very excited to get into this new era and to play a lot of this new stuff. Yeah, so we had put out How It Feels to Be Lost, and I think we had done like 2 tours on that record, and then kind of watched the COVID thing kind of happen and unfold in front of our eyes. I remember being like at a meet and greet, I think in Michigan, and I was seeing stuff on the news about how it was like a town over from the venue that we were playing. And I was like, wow, this is starting to get serious. And then pretty much after that show, we were home for like 3 years. So I think we definitely needed like time away from playing music. Our band has been like constantly on the road touring, and anytime we were at home, it was to like make a new record. So I guess it was kind of a blessing and a curse, but we ended up starting to write songs, I think probably like 2 years into COVID, and then ended up going to Nashville to record. Yeah, so Complete Collapse is kind of a play on words, whereas like it's kind of about my emotional state at the time, and just kind of having the parallel line of like, you can either become better, you can completely collapse within yourself. And I think also just kind of looking at the world and everything that was going on around us, could kind of see the world as completely collapsing too. And I think the song and the single is about, I mean, especially if you look at the video and everything, you definitely get like the whole like out too late party and vibes and all that kind of stuff, and trying to, I guess, supply whatever is putting a mask over the eternal issues that you're actually dealing with and going through. So I think that it was just kind of a perfect song title and a perfect album title to kind of mix with each other. There's a lot of that theme going on throughout the whole record. Yeah, I think that we just kind of found our lane, and we were coming off of a record that was very, very different for the band, working with a major label that was very, very different for the band. And I feel like everything was kind of hands off. So taking control and putting the music back into our own hands for our previous record, we just wanted to continue that idea for this record. And we ended up being like really pleasantly surprised in the studio, because there'd be songs that, were kind of throwback or ended up sounding, like, older albums like Let's Cheers, or even our first record with Ears to See and Eyes to Hear. So it was like pleasantly ironic that happened, but super cool at the same time. Yeah, so Spencer and the band have been friends for a long time. Underoath and our band share a tour manager and sound person. So we've connected on the road many, many times and became close friends. And I've always been a huge fan of Underoath and Spencer in general. So having to have him be a part of a song definitely elevated it to the next level. And there was just something about shooting a music video with Spencer and having him be on camera with me. It was just like really, really cool to come full circle, being an Underoath fan and a fan of everything that Spencer's done, to having him be a part of this record has been incredible. Yeah, randomly saw an interview that she did where she had mentioned wanting to work with the band and me specifically. So after hearing that song that she did with the Main and Taking Back Sunday, I was like pretty stoked, and I thought that she would sound incredible on our single Let You Down, and she definitely delivered, and she's an amazing talent. Stoked to have her. She's great. She's got just a complete vibe, I think that she is 100% the real deal, and having her at this previous, I guess it's gonna be the last single that we put out, music video for our track Be Happy. She's just awesome, and I loved watching her perform and be a part of this track, and it's my favorite song on the record, so I hope it's everyone else's as well. So it's a guy named Joby, and we were spitballing some ideas for the record, and he had sent some visual stuff, and I wasn't really connecting with a lot of it. So I just started doing my own deep dive into things, and I remembered our Let's Cheers record was kind of like clippings from old magazines from back in like the 60s. And so I started kind of Googling images from like just like family in front of a house, buying a house from the 60s. And I found this family standing in front of like a house with a white picket fence. And I thought it would be interesting if you had the same facial expression from the family, just stoked, just bought this brand new house, but it's burning behind them. And so we kind of ran with that idea. He found some really cool images from old magazines and cut them out and kind of put them together. And then the Sleeping with Sirens and the album title are actually a real label maker that he typed the words out on and printed it and then stuck it on there. Yeah, preparing for tour is always just like an interesting thing. I think like coming in and rehearse, you try to prepare as much as possible, but I think essentially like playing that first couple shows is what really gets everything going. But I am excited that we're playing these one-off shows up to when we were young. There's nothing worse than jumping into a festival, especially a festival like this one, with cold feet. So it's going to be nice to be warmed up and prepared and ready for these festival shows. And yeah, really excited to play some of the new songs off the new record. And you'll be hearing a couple of them when we were young, but we're playing a lot of the classics at that festival. Yeah, I hope that they just connect with it and that they have an awesome time listening to an album all the way through. I think that we've kind of become a culture of singles and EPs and quick burst releases. So to take your time and to put out a full album, I hope that people enjoy it in its entirety and listen to it all the way through and get the messages and everything that we put time and effort into preparing for this record, and just have fun. There's a lot of bangers on it. We're very, very excited to get into this new era and to play a lot of this new stuff. So enjoy it. Thanks for listening.